Welcome back to round 11, Ausamerican Aces, NRL with Renee Gartner. And of course, Ash and Aaron Woods are on with us again this week. Guys, big weekend. Hard one to tip.
The comebacks, hey?
Ooh.
John Farnham.
Farnham,
it was,
yeah.
look, I love a good comeback, but not five of them.
No.
It was too hard to pick, don't you reckon?
Yeah.
And a draw.
The one comeback I wanted didn't happen, but whatever.
It was close, mate. It was close.
Not with the amount of
Got back to
errors.
14-all, and then
That was the end of
Then
it.
Garrett got
discombobulated
tackled in
after
goal,
that.
and the ball just decided to fall out of his arms.
The one team I want to beat all year are the Sharks, and we haven't beaten them. So.
I know. That's actually two now that we've lost.
Anyway.
Plenty of news highlights during the weekend as well too. It seems like the witch hunt continues with Luai. Obviously, I mean, there's a time and place where you just want to steal your parents' phones and get them off it. And the latest one is obviously after the 64-0 drubbing, out comes Luai's dad with social media saying, get out of clause
Boomers.
contact.
The boomers. The
Get out of
boomers need to
contact
get off their
clause.
phone. Stick to Facebook. That's for your age group. But I think there's one thing with players and social media, and I think that they can't be trusted at this point. Now we've got to worry about the parents that can't be trusted. But I love that how that would have gone down, that Luai would have gone, what are you doing, mate? Like, can you get that down?
Can you
And
imagine the
it came-
call after? Because you've just lost, so you're going to be really down the dumps / angry anyway.
Yeah.
And then you get on social media and see your old man put a post
Read
like
the
that.
room, Dad.
Yeah.
Fair income.
They can't read the room.
But you know
Parents
the-
can't
you know
read
the
the
other
room.
thing? So he would have been around all his teammates because they played in Melbourne. They got to go straight to the airport after the game. So they would have been sitting in, whether in Qantas Lounge or whatever. He's probably sitting near Benji. He's one of Benji's favourites. And then they read reports that his dad goes, oh, let's activate the get out clause.
I cringed for him. Like I saw
It's
it.
not
and I
Luai's fault. Like
It's
this
not.
Oh, no,
it's just-
absolutely not.
But what it is, it's a story for the media, for us,
It just
people
adds.
just to keep talking about the Tigers in a negative way.
Have your parents ever put you in?
No chance.
No, yeah.
Wouldn't let it happen.
Yeah. You'd be
Nah,
banning them.
my parents just do the thing where they they introduce you to someone that knew you as a kid, and you're like,
I don't
know you. They're like, you remember this person?
Oh,
that's
mate.
the equivalent. But like, I think, I've got a real problem with football and social media. I do frequent social media. I'm not sure if you noticed,
Yes.
but it's like, just have some self-awareness, have some team awareness, have some awareness for your kids. Like, that's high-level embarrassing to your kids, I reckon.
Do you feel like the media is witch hunting Luai a bit now, and that they've made him out to be the villain, and Lachlan Galvin is all of a sudden not really spoken about? Because there was another article today, and it was a video of that May put up because it's on his YouTube channel.
Yep.
And it was a fan going around and taking selfies. Luai was obviously on the phone to his partner and child, and he said no to the selfie. And the headline was Luai snubs fans. And I'm like, oh, God.
It's not a good look, but what's Terrell May putting up for?
Yeah, exactly. I was
He's
gonna say
throwing his team under the bus. The one you're more worried about is Royce Hunt in there.
Oh, no, he was
He's
eating
chowing
and said
down on
no.
some food
Well,
and told the bloke to beat it.
It was a wicked winning, wasn't it? It looked pretty
Oh,
good, if I'm
mate.
going to be honest.
Oh.
I wouldn't interrupt that for a selfie.
But that's what I mean. Royce looked worse, but the
Yeah.
headline was Luai.
I know.
Who's going to get more clicks, right?
Yeah, true.
Seriously. And he's on $1.2 or $1.3 million. He's one of the highest paid players in the game. He's a high marquee. And you lose 64-0. You're the main man. They've got to target somebody.
That video was before that,
Yeah, I
I'm
was
pretty
going to say
sure.
it looked like Brizzy Airport.
Yeah, but
It
when did
was-
it come out? Like, when
And it came out
when
like-
did the media start talking
Oh,
about it?
dropped
only
yesterday.
Yesterday, but I saw that video 3.
So did a lot of people because it's in Terrell May's vlog.
Yeah,
But
true.
the thing was, they make more out of it when you lose.
Yeah.
Yeah, for sure. If
And
they'd
you-
have won, we wouldn't even be talking.
And when you
about
get beat 64-0.
Yeah.
Because I've been on WhatsApp groups and they go, oh, he should have took the photo. And I was like, what the hell are you talking about?
Well, you tell us, Woodsy, what's it like? What's your reaction like when a fan comes up to you? And I know there's going to be a lot of them that do come up to the late great Woodsy from.
I've got clubs
Five
everywhere.
Late
different
great.
clubs.
Is he dead?
No, always.
No, whoa. I just meant retired. That's what I meant.
I think you look at Jerome, the way he did it wasn't in the best way. He could have just said, look, I'm just on a FaceTime with my
Yeah.
family. It looks like he's just shoved the people off. I always talk to people. And it doesn't bother me. I'm always a people person, but everyone's different. Like,
Yeah.
Jerome's not me. I'm not Jerome. He hasn't got the same personality as
And
me.
he had headphones on too.
Exactly,
It's
like-
yeah.
I do feel, because I've seen it with a lot of players, and I do feel like people just expect to be given. Like you hear kids at the end of the football game now, it's now like they think it's a given to get boots given to them. And they're like, give me your boots.
So my thing is I will never sign anything lest they use manners, whether you're a 6-year-old or a 36 or a 66-year-old. If you say please and thank you, you got all my time and attention.
For sure.
But if you come over and you just go sign this, I won't sign it until they say please.
Yeah.
Because my mother always brought me up, you need to have manners. And if you're going to talk to someone, you talk to them in the right way. I think that's the way it should be done.
Yeah.
Look, as rugby league players, it is a job, but you're on 24/7. You're representing the emblem on your shirt, whether it's you got your polo on or you don't. It's your brand.
Yeah.
But in that case, like it was a hard one. Maybe Jerome just has to go, look, mate, just on the phone.
Yeah.
Like I just said before, I'm just talking to my family and I'll come speak to you after.
Yeah.
But this goes back to, again, players and social media. Like, he's your teammate and you're posting that. It doesn't look good from the word go. Like, just...
He looked good, which is why he posted.
Oh, for God's
They think
sake.
it's a G up. It's a G up between mates. It's pretty funny, yeah.
Yeah.
But then once other people get a hold of it, that's when they can take different angles.
Yeah.
And that's what I think personally what the West Tigers should do, social media ban.
Yeah.
Because everything seems to be going out on social
100%.
media.
For the
Lock 'em
parents
up.
too?
Parents, family, friends. Well, even the other one, I think Terrell May's brother did an interview with Denny Wilder last night.
Yes. Yeah.
and
I
he's
did
come
see-
out and reshared it and read, please, like, can you do your talking just face to face?
Yeah.
They don't need to add attention. The club might not want to sign him.
Yeah.
Or the club might be trying to sign him, but doing it under the, a slow process. We don't want to give anything away.
Yeah.
Yeah, they're little things that happen with social media. Why do they do all their talking on that?
Well, I know, but someone who also did lots of talking on the football field was the Bulldogs. Weak gutted dog has reared its head yet again.
I like this. It was a few years ago, yes. Really good response.
I loved
And-
Ricky's response.
But also, like the other day when we were at Magic Round, there was that video of the guy
Yeah.
being like, it's kind of become like at the time, it sort of tarnished the player's reputation a little bit. And Ricky used the wrong words at the time, but now it's like, when people say, "We'll look back at this and laugh."
Yeah.
This is what they're talking about.
so
100%.
We're looking back at it and laugh, and now Salmon's come out. He's done his thing on the field. Great. All the old hoity-toities are like, shouldn't have done that. It's a joke now.
Yeah.
It's
I
a
think-
big joke.
I think the only thing for Sticky is that since the moment he's called him a weak gutted dog, I don't think Salmon's lost to him.
Really?
He won a couple of games with Penrith and the Bulldogs are going well.
Oh, yeah.
Of course.
Good
okay.
one. But
Yeah, I didn't even realise that.
Yeah.
That's
again,
real.
we look back, we laugh.
But you know what?
We're laughing about it.
Ricky gets the last laugh. Salmon fractured his ankle. He's out for 10 weeks.
Oh, yeah.
I wonder if Ricky's reached out for his condolences and be like, sorry about your ankle. Or anything like that. Or you
I don't-
deserve it.
yeah,
I don't think
I
Ricky loses 1 ounce of sleep on.
No, he wouldn't.
His
And that's the
response to the
thing.
press conference was so good. He just
What was it? I missed it.
Well, so Lara Pitt asked, and like she had to reword it maybe 2 or 3 times, and you could tell the more she was asking, the least confidence she was getting. And she's a belter human.
Oh, she's a legend,
And,
Lara.
oh, she's so good. And she's like, "Well, what did you make of the response?" And he just goes, "Do you think I care about
Yeah.
it?" Like,
No.
and he was chuckling and laughing the whole time.
One thing, and I saw that social media. He was just laughing his head off, and
Yeah.
the bloke was yelling at Magic Round.
Yeah.
He said it out of anger at the start, and he realised he said the wrong thing. He apologised.
Yeah.
And then now he just takes the mickey out of it.
you look back and laugh.
Exactly.
That's exactly what they're talking about.
Exactly. Hey, last week we spoke a lot about the New South Wales Origin side, and we have a rebuttal joining us today as well. So we're going to get a little bit of insight into
Who?
the Queensland Origin side. The great Brent Tate.
Oh,
Oh, yeah.
really?
Yeah.
I
Your
had,
favourite
I had
mate.
a few choice words for him when I used to play against
Did
Tatey.
you? What happened with Tatey?
Oh, I wonder if he'll reveal it if we have a
We'll
chat
find
to him
out, I
later
bet.
on.
All right. Well, let's have a chat with him right now. Welcome, legend.
Thank you so much for having me. Yeah, Woodsy and I go way back. I think he might have called me a cat in 2014. So,
He did
Yeah.
mention, he goes, "Is there anything he doesn't want to talk about?" And straight away you replied with, "Woodsy called me a cat."
yeah, still not over it, Woodsy. But anyway, we'll put that one to bed, mate. It's about time I move on, I reckon.
Come on, Tatey, mate. You know us New South Welshmen. You were one bloke that you were on our tip sheet, not just for rugby league, but to take your head off. Because, Tatey's a competitor. He's one of the great Queenslanders. Used to frustrate the hell of us. His best games always been that Queensland jersey. Tatey, talk to us, mate. This time of year, how you feeling going into the Origin arena, brother?
Yeah, mate, it's a great time of year, isn't it? I think we all get excited and the blood starts to pump a little bit, mate, once the Origin rolls around. So it's going to be interesting, mate. I reckon there's going to be a few changes from a Queensland point of view. Just hearing around the traps that they might be blooding some new young guys, which I think will be exciting, mate. So it's probably time, but yeah, I don't know. It's going to be good.
Yeah, but you sort of speak about having those young blokes in there. Mal's come out and said that they need some younger legs in the side, but also trying to keep some seniority. There's obviously been riddled with injuries in the side. Who do you think is going to be one of those debutants that step in?
I think Tommy Dearden's probably, well, now that Benny Hunt's hurt himself, I think he probably would have forced his way into the side anyway, because he's just been, his form's been outstanding. I get the feeling they might pick someone like a Beau Fermor as well from the Gold Coast Titans. Like, he's been playing so good on that edge. He's scoring tries. He's a great defender and he's a competitor, which Woodsy talked about. So I think there's a couple of guys there that they'll look to bring in. Corey Horsburgh's been in good form as well. There's a front row spot for him. So, yeah, look, we've still got plenty of experience there. There's no worries about that. But I do think it'll be important to blood some of these younger guys just to freshen it up. And obviously we're coming off a series loss last year, which pains me to say. But
we love it.
Finally, we get one.
Tate, you got one for you. You mentioned Tommy Dearden coming into the squad. What a play. He's been outstanding for the Cowboys. Does he start? Does Cherry Evans get them, move on? Or do we keep him there and maybe have Dearden off the bench?
Woodsy, I reckon my gut feel is he comes off the bench. I do think if we are down, one, we lose the first one, or we're down 2-0, I do get the feeling they might look to put Tommy in the side and make it his side moving forward. He plays 6 at the Cowboys, Tommy, but I think the last few weeks he's been playing that halfback role anyway, and he's a junior halfback anyway, so it's not an unfamiliar role to him. But mate, I think they start with DCE. He's the captain. He's in good form. Garts, I know you got a smile on your face, or you might be sad being a Manly boy. But yeah, look, he'll start for sure, mate, and I've got no doubt about that.
And Tatey, you've got a pretty good relationship with Billy Slater. We know last year he sort of didn't unravel, but when they sort of had that bit of a, with Michael Maguire in the media, a little bit of a battle, we saw a different side of Slater. How do you think he's going to handle it going into this series?
Yeah, I don't disagree with you there, Woodsy. I think I'm not going to say he was a little bit rattled last year, but I think Billy might have outcoached himself a little bit, I thought, last year, in a way. I think he'll be much better for the experience. He's a smart guy, Billy. We've seen that. He's got a great record already in the Origin arena, both coaching and playing. But I do think last year was probably a steep learning curve for him. I'll have no doubt that he's planned meticulously again for his Origin series. So, yeah, I think we'll see a bit more of a relaxed Billy Slater going into this series, I feel.
Let's talk about fullbacks. We've got Reece Walsh. He's obviously injured. He's not available. Do you stick with Ponga? There was talk about Munster going back there.
Nah, mate. KP's got to be the number one. Again, every time he's played for Queensland, he's been outstanding. And, there's been a little bit of talk about Hammer going back there as well. But, mate, I don't even think it's a question. KP will be the number one. His ball-playing ability, what he offers, mate, when he plays well, it's scary for any team. So, yeah, he'll definitely be in the fullbacks posse.
He seems to step up, especially under someone like Billy Slater, who's the whiz at fullback. I mean, his record proves that. So yeah, I would agree. I think KP definitely sits back there. Even though they're not humming along the nights. He finds another level, doesn't he?
Tatey, I wanted to ask, because I guess Queensland are almost coming in with the favourite call that they love is almost the underdog because of how much they're riddled with injuries, and we're seeing other players come in for second positions. Do you love this going into it? Are you nervous coming up against where New South Wales we're spoiled for choice in players across the park?
Yeah, look, it sits with us well, and it always has been the underdog. But I genuinely think this year we are going to be the underdog. We're coming off a series loss. New South Wales, I don't know, this year, you guys, it happens every year, but just seems to be you guys could pick 3 teams and it'd be really competitive. So, yeah, look, it sits with us well. I think it's going to suit us again this year, and I think we genuinely are going to be the underdog. So, we love that tag, and no doubt Billy will be making mention of that and playing that tag for sure.
Teddy, I want to take you back to when you played, mate. You played with some incredible players, Darren Lockyer, Billy Slater, Cameron Smith, Cooper Cronk, Steven Asiva, Webkeys. Who was your favourite player to play with in that maroon jersey? It's a tough question because you played with
Favourite child.
future immortals. It was unbelievable watching that side.
Yeah, mate, it was. I tell you, the guy, and I get goosebumps even talking about him now. When he got into camp and he had a look about him, we all got excited, and that was GI. I think when you got into camp, you could almost smell GI had a big series coming into it. You could just tell by the way he walked into camp, the look in his eyes, and the way he trained and the way he engaged. And when he did, I can tell you right now, we'd all be walking around like grabbing each other going, GI's on this camp, like he's ready to go. And when he did play, mate, and when he turned it on, far out, like it was something to watch. I think Darius Boyd was one of the leading try scorers for Queensland, but, mate, he fell over the line about 15 times with GI, just putting it on a platter for him. So, yeah, he was amazing, GI, when he turned it on, mate. But like you said, I got to play with some of the bloody legends, mate. I got to play with Alfie Langer too. I mean, my first Origin was with Alfie.
Wow.
Little story about Alfie, never ever forget. We were training down the Gold Coast and he was leaning up against the fence and he rolled up his shorts. And I said to Alf, "What are you doing, mate?" And he goes, "I'm just warming up the quads while we're all going out racing around, doing a proper warm up." Alf would just warm them up in the sun. So he was a real character to play with. But yeah, mate, we had great success throughout that period, mate. But like you said, we had some of the greatest players that that'll go down as immortals. They were bloody incredible.
What about yourself? You played plenty of Origins over the time. Talk to us about your roommates. Who was the best roommate you had, or who was the worst?
Hodjo, definitely, Justin Hodges.
Was he good or bad?
Never seen a more unprofessional person or athlete in my whole life, but be able to go out and deliver, mate. His breakfast would consist of a couple of smokes and it was either an ice break or a V drink. Would never lifted a weight in his whole life.
You're kidding.
But, mate, he was a terrible trainer, as in the weights room, pathetic. But I've never seen a bloke again just be able to deliver week in and week out. So he's probably my worst roomie. I'd come home from dinner and I'd look out the back and it'd be all dark and I'd just see the light of a smoke out there.
Oh, my God. Just naturally talented. Just a natural athlete.
It was almost made you sick, to be honest, at how talented like GI and Hodjo and those guys were. Like, they were unbelievable.
Yeah, right.
Who we were speaking about it the other week, and who was the stingiest player and why was it you?
I knew you were going to say that. Let's just say we didn't get the contracts, Garts, that these players get today, let me tell you. All right.
Agree. Good response.
It was tougher time back then.
I'm still waiting for my coffee from all the times working on the sidelines together, mate.
Look, next time I see you, I'll get you a coffee.
Thanks, Dave.
Just a quick shift from me. I'm a diehard Manly boy, born in Manly Hospital, and this week we are coming up against the mighty Cowboys. Ooh. I wanted to pick your brain if there's any insights that I can feed onto the Manly team to maybe help us get the win for once.
I'm not going to give you anything, but
come on,
mate. No, I definitely won't. But I think I just saw some reports come out today that they're looking at playing young Jackson Purdue at 6, which mate, that is really, really exciting because he's been playing centre. He's never played centre in his juniors at all. He's a 6 and a 7, and it looks like they may name him there today. So that's trouble for Manly, I reckon.
So we'll target him then, yeah?
Yeah, good luck.
We'll send Olaguatu directly at him. How's that sound?
Yeah. No, definitely. No, he's a good kid, mate. But I reckon that's really exciting for the Cowboys. And mate, you know what? One thing I think they'll do with Jackson is I think they will bring him into Origin camp. And again, if we are 1 or 2-0 down in the series, I genuinely think they'll give him a shot because he is one hell of a player.
Oh, he's been unbelievable the last couple of weeks. I was up at Brisbane watching them play, and I was like, this guy's got it, eh?
Oh, mate, something happens around him every time he plays. Tatey, on the Cowboys, Jeremiah Nanai, it was a huge call to send him back to Queensland Cup, but he has come back in that squad with a fire in his belly. He's been one of the best week in, week out for him.
Yeah, he has, Woodsy. It was a big call by Toddy, but I think it was the right one. I think the last couple of years, Jeremiah's form at club level hasn't been where it should be for a rep player, and again, for what he gets paid to do. So it was a big call by Todd, but, one thing with class players is the cream always rises to the top, and Jeremiah's back playing as good as he ever has. And he's just playing tough, Woodsy, and he's getting himself involved. And again, you talk about Jackson. When those sort of guys like Jeremiah and Jackson touch the ball, things happen around them, and you want them involved in the game, and that's what he's doing at the moment. And he's in such good form. Look, I have no doubt he'll be picked for Queensland on that edge. So and every time he's played for Queensland, he's played tough and played well. So yeah, it's been a big call, but I think it's the right call from Toddy, and he's paying. They're paying dividends now with his form.
What about looking down to the Broncos? There was a fair article that ran yesterday with Fox Sports because Buzz has had a huge blue with Madge over them taking 3 days and going on a boat harbour cruise, which I assume it was for morale, but he's basically come out and said that he's already lost the changer in not so specific words, but he's had a real crack, said that he's overtrained them during the summer. They're vomiting at training. What are your thoughts on how that team is sort of playing at the moment? Because they don't look like they're very well in sync.
I've got pretty strong thoughts on this, guards, to be honest. If the players are whinging about that and it being tough, they got rid of Kevy because it wasn't tough enough and it wasn't professional enough. Yeah. Now they're whinging. If this is the case, that Madge is too tough and it's not hard enough, I think if I'm the Broncos and I'm the management of the club, I'm putting it back onto the players and asking them if they don't want to, saying if they don't want to be there, don't basically get on the bus or get off. Because Madge is a good coach. Yeah. You've got to work hard to win a comp. It's not going to happen for them. And I just feel like they're, this stuff that's getting leaked is a sign of a bad club, I reckon. When things are getting leaked to the media, I reckon that's a sign of a club that's not going great. So if I'm Broncos management, I genuinely am putting it back onto the players and saying that Madge is going to be here for his contract. If you don't like it, come and see us and we'll make other arrangements. And I wouldn't care who it was and what standing they've got at the club. They've got the club has to back Madge. And I think the time of the players whinging and getting their way it's got to stop, in my opinion.
I couldn't agree more with you. What do you think? Penrith and Melbourne Storm don't train hard? Geez, stories I've heard out of those camps. Teddy, one thing I want to know about you, mate. I don't know the story behind it or how it come about. The neck brace. Did you invent that yourself, or was that somewhere that you've seen in another sport? Because you're the only real player I've actually seen ever wear one.
Yeah, there was a few of us that came up with it. So basically, what was happening is every time my head would go back, it was crushing the nerves, and you're getting those burners down your arm. It'd crush your nerves and send your arm dead. And I was getting them pretty much every game, mate. And it got to the point where I just couldn't play anymore. The surgeon said, that's enough. You're going to lose. You potentially could lose the use of your arm. So, mate, for weeks and weeks, Robbie Godbolt, the Broncos physio, we just mucked around with headgears and all this other sort of stuff. But we one day we were just watching the NASCAR drivers and they wear the neck brace. And then we just started playing with a neck brace and went to an orthopedic place where they make different limbs for guys that have, got prosthetic legs and that sort of stuff. And we sat with them for about 3 or 4 days and come up with a neck brace, mate. So it was all based off the NASCAR drivers. Wow. And thank God I had a physio by the name of Robbie Godbolt who spent the time to figure it out with me and, gave me another 12 years of my career.
Yeah, that neck brace is iconic. My childhood. I remember growing up and just, especially as a young guy, you're like, I don't quite understand. So it's good to hear where it all came from. Yeah, makes sense, I suppose. I've never had a burner, so
they're not fun. Hey, before we get to your Queensland side, I know you're going to give us your 1 to 17. I want to talk about basically you're the reason why we don't have Biff in Origin anymore because it was one of your fights that started an all-in. Can you talk us through that one?
Bloody Tatey.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Instigator.
There was a couple. I was in a couple of fights. I don't think I threw one punch in any of them.
And none that landed.
I'll never forget the time where I crow-pecked Birdie. I'll never, ever forget that. I hated Birdie playing for New South Wales, and he's one of the world's great blokes, but I'll never, ever forget the moment. He was sitting, I think GI was on top of him and his head was right there on the ground. And I thought, I'm going to punch this bloke. And as the fist was coming down, I thought, this is a really bad dog shot. And I just gave him a bit of a noogie on the face. And, I've been paid out ever since for that. But
should have followed through.
Look, it's not. There's no place for it in the game anymore. We all loved it. We all still do love it, but I do wish I had given Birdie the full force though, because
I'm just a Welshman. I wish I gave him one, Tatey. Don't worry.
I don't think you're alone there. What about the one? Did you have any second thoughts of when you thought you'd take on Gal? I think it was 2014, maybe.
Yeah, I do remember that. I think I might have sort of punched Gal in the tackle, and Gal being Gal, he was ready to go, and thank God that everyone ran in, because it wouldn't have been pretty from my end. So yeah, and even the one where he punched Nate Miles, I was right behind Nate when that happened at dummy half, and I was even scared, to be honest, watching him throw those. So yeah, it's look, not my finest moments, but again, I do go back to Birdie. I'd love to get.
Oh wow!
We might have to get Birdie to give some
response.
To get the boys in a fight night.
Yes, yeah, 100%.
I would definitely pay to see that.
Yeah.
Oh, no, I definitely would not do that.
Who was your least favourite player to play against during your time on the field?
Oh, Birdie and Gal for sure. That only because they were such tough competitors, and they'd do anything to win. I mean, they would gouge you, scratch you, squirrel rip you. They'd do anything. But they were the ultimate competitors for New South Wales. They really were. They were so tough to play, and I hated them because you'd want them on your team. So that's why you didn't like them. But geez, they were tough. They were tough hombres. They both aimed up every time.
Well, Queensland side is going to be a tough one to name, as we mentioned earlier. You're pretty limited with some of the spots with all the injuries, but can you take us from 1 to 17?
I can. I'm going to give you a bit of a squad because I'm still not settled on a couple of positions, but I'll start with the backs. KP at fullback, obviously. I've got Muzz and Murray Tuolangi and Xavier on the wings.
Yep.
And I'm going to go for Cobbo and Hammer in the centres. So they're all big bodies. Obviously, Cobbo doesn't defend in the centres, but he has last year. And I just think having that big body, if they name Latrell and those sort of guys, is going to help. DCE and Money, Cam Munster in the halves. Front row is going to be a bit of a tough one. I'm going to go with Tino, Harry, and either Paddy or Corey Horsburgh. Just depends on one of those two. Back row, Nanai Bofoma making his debut.
Yeah, nice.
And Ruben or Paddy at lock. So, which takes me to my bench. I'm going to go Mo, Tommy Dearden, Gilbert, Lindsay Collins if he's fit, and either Corey Horsburgh or Ruben Cotter pending. So, yeah, it's a bit of the forwards is a little bit of a funny one, and how they're going to sort of have their final makeup with that. So, yeah, we'll have to see.
Lindsay Collins at Origin is scary.
Yeah, I know.
different beast.
I was going to say, he just comes into his own on Origin. He's one of those players that, as a New South Welshman, I hate him, but he's so scary on the field.
Well, that's okay. We hate New South Wales altogether, so it's fine.
Tatey, one of your backs I did look at, no Valentine Holmes, mate.
Mate, look, if they were to put Val in the centres and leave Cobbo out, mate, I'm okay with it. Like, he's a hell of a player. He's been in pretty good form for the Dragons as well. So the good thing is we do have some options. I do like some of the young kids like Xavier Savage and those guys from Canberra as well. Like, I reckon they're knocking on the door, mate. So, it'd be interesting to see which way Billy goes. But, it's going to be exciting to see.
If Val's not picked, who am I going to put first try scorer? Because the last how many years he scores the first try, right?
Well, Tatey, we really appreciate you jumping on today. We are going to have you throughout the Origin period, so you'll be able to give us a little bit more intel as we go through it, as well as some of the Queensland teams as well too. Thanks so much for joining us.
Thank you for having me. Awesome. Ta.
We'll get you a blue scarf for the next one.
Thanks, Tatey.
See you, crew. Thank you.
See you, legend. Thanks, brother.
Thanks so much, mate.
Appreciate
See
it.
you guys.
Well, what'd you make of the 1 to 17, especially coming up against your side that you picked last week?
I'll tell you what, when you're picking a 1 to 17, it's the hardest thing in the world. Like, you're damned if you do, you're damned if you don't. There's going to be question marks. Or I asked one straight away about Valentine Holmes.
Yeah.
It's the decision that Brent Tate thinks it's going to be. And look, you're not going to question. Every player deserves a jersey. It's the same as the New South Wales side. Like, there's so many to pick from.
Yeah.
But I'm sure they'll go out there and they'll do their state proud, hopefully not too proud, and we get the win over them.
Yeah, it's a fun time of year that everyone's got their opinion on the team, and I think it sort of makes up the whole series a little bit, where we edge towards game one, and everyone's like, "What are we looking at?" And everyone's got their say. And look, I think with their injuries, he picked a pretty solid team. Still scares me.
Yeah.
But look, New South Wales have.
Would you have gone DC at 7 or Dearden at 7?
I would go DC. Oh, look, what about that year we talked about the worst Queensland team ever, and DC captained them and they won the series? You sit him at 7 because he'll stand up.
That was 5 years ago. He was a lot younger then.
But he's kind of, except for the last few weeks, he's kind of like a bit of a fine wine.
Nah, he's gone.
But then it's Dearden at 6. He's just his running game is outstanding, and his eyes up footy kicks through. Look, I'm worried about the halves the most.
Were there any else that shocked you in that lineup?
No, I like Beau Fermor at back row.
Yeah.
And Nenai, what Nenai's done since he's been dropped at the start of the year, it's been really good. Tommy Gilbert could have made a case to start. I don't mind the Cotter at front row and Carrigan at lock. They're very similar.
They're givens, right?
And then, you got to, obviously the question mark is Lindsay Collins going to be fit?
Yeah.
If he's fit, you have to have him in there. You've seen what he's done at Origin. He's shown he's just an effort player, and that's what Origin's all about. So, look, it's still a great side. Harry Grant, he's back this week. This is not an easy feat. Callum Ponga at fullback.
Yeah.
You look at, Coates on the wing. You got Cobbo.
Was there any after the weekend that's just gone that's changed your mind about your team for the New South Wales lineup?
Mine depends on this week.
What about Pappenhausen? Do you think he played his way into the side?
It's so hard. I'm a type of believer, right? If you have Pappy, you play him at fullback or you don't put him in there at all.
Yeah, agreed.
No, so not even as a utility.
Connor Watson's my utility.
Yeah.
I don't think Paps could defend in the middle.
It's a real shame because Paps would be
You'd love
amazing.
to see him there. Jesus, imagine him in that. If they got a few opportunities, he's in some career form at the moment.
But how do you think he would mix with the halves? How do you think he'd mix with Cleary? How do you think he'd mix with
They're
Mitch
a bit
Moses?
more structured to what he's going to get at Melbourne. Melbourne's sort of just off the cuff. Not off the cuff, but you got players that play right in front of you with the Harry Grant, Munster, Hughes. They're not really that dominant. Get you to the points on the field, go here, go there. They just play the flow of the game.
Yeah, all of his tries on the weekend were flow of the game.
Which
it
is
was
where
instinct. Was instinct. So if you've got the structure of Cleary and does he fit in that team? I think Edwards fits in with that much
I
better.
love Edwards. And then the one change that I'm really watching, there's actually two I'm watching here, right?
Okay.
I'm looking at Zach Lomax this week, how he comes back. I think probably him or Tommy on the wing. And then I had Josh King at front row last week. I sat back and thought about it.
Yeah, and got hammered on
No.
social media.
Jake
I was in
Jake
the popcorn
Trbojevic.
just watching you get hammered.
You want Jakey back in the side now?
Because I'm getting Isaiah Yeo to play 60 off the bench, I might just get Jakey for that first 20. Not for what he does on the field, it's for what he brings around the group away from footy.
Can you afford that without me
afford that.
paying out Jakey?
I can afford that, yeah. Because Jake's been there, done that.
Yeah, okay.
He's an Origin player, and he knows what it is to be a Blue. But I wouldn't have him as captain.
Yeah.
Nathan Cleary is still my captain.
But Tommy on the weekend, he doesn't look like he's at full flight.
I really feel sorry for Tommy because every time he goes out there and if he looks just one, whether he's got a piece of tape on him, it's the conversation around him, he's not fully fit. If I'm, Siebes or even his brother Jakey, I'll probably have a conversation, mate. Just pull yourself out of Origin contention. Just back yourself, play some footy, enjoy yourself, knowing that you haven't got that talk of, you're fit, you're going to be in Origin, you're going to be not. And just go and play rugby league. Just enjoy yourself.
He's wincing at every tackle. He's wincing at every run, and it might just be because his face is so used to doing that.
Like that panda that got
it's like they say if you pull a face and the wind changes. You know what I mean? Like similar sort of thing. But yeah, he just cops it for he's not fully fit, and he might not be fully fit. But I agree with you. But I also think he's one of those players that will stand up. But he needs to play well for Manly because it's getting to a point now where you've got Lehigh Hopper-Whitey nipping at your heels, who has so strong.
He's great, Lehigh, but he hasn't got what Tommy's got.
Exactly. Not yet.
The experience and the brains of how to get it. But
is that instinct, the difference between those two?
Yeah, he's going to learn that through when he plays. But Tommy's just, on Tommy's day, he's the best player in the competition.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
And that's what we want to see.
For sure. I want to see how he goes this week. He got through the game, and then now he's a couple of games in, a bit more game fitness, and hopefully he can finish at the Cowboys really strong, against the Cowboys really strong.
That's what I mean. It comes down this last weekend. There's still so many question marks in that side.
Yeah. Well, we've still got a little bit to go before Hannah gets named on Monday. Is that right? Yeah.
Because there's a later game on Sunday this week.
Yes.
6:20. Tigers, Souths.
Hang on, so there's no game Thursday,
No
so
game
we've got
Thursday.
Women's State of
we've got
Origin.
3 games on Sunday.
Yeah. 3 Saturday, 3 Sunday.
My wife's gonna hate me.
Are you doing the
Mine
women's
already
origin?
hates me, so I'm all right.
Are you doing the women's origin?
Yes, I'm doing a women's
Are you
origin
back?
again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Who's
What
in the
position you
commentary box
playing?
with you this time?
Jasmine Strange and
Oh.
Anthony Maroon, and we will be hoping for another massive New South Wales win so we can go for a whitewash.
Yeah, we
Yeah,
like
baby.
that. I thought it was funny because they were getting interviewed during the week, and I can't remember who it was. Came out and said, "Oh, we're treating it as if we're at 0-0 at the moment."
Because the same thing happened last year.
Yeah, and they got
And
trounced. But
they-
didn't you think that you should still have if the series is not won yet, but we are one up mentality? Or
100%.
do you like the fact that they think it's 0-0?
I wanted to have a little bit of arrogance.
Yeah.
They're coming back to Sydney.
Yeah.
They're coming to Allianz Stadium. That's our home ground.
But do you think they're just trying to learn their lessons, right? They're
Yeah,
trying to
but
learn,
what they
'cause they
do-
did that last year. They came home, right,
Yeah,
with arrogance,
Yeah.
and then they got trolloped.
Also, yeah, that's the thing. I think they don't want to come out and be too arrogant in the media's eye, but they'll be very confident in that little inner circle of theirs.
Who are
Yeah,
your key matchups in that game?
It's so hard because New South Wales was so dominant.
Mm-hmm.
But for me, it's not so much of a matchup. It's just one player they need to stop. Tamika Upton.
Oh, yeah.
She is phenomenal. And the longer that game went, the later stages of the Origin 1, she started to inject herself a lot more. You could tell she's a bit frustrated. I reckon she's going to be there from the get-go, and it's going to be, look, if New South Wales forwards aren't on, she can cause a havoc around the ruck.
Yeah,
She scares me.
as soon as they get tired, you see her.
Oh,
Yeah.
she's a freak.
She's got a little Billy Slater about her, like
Ooh.
Yeah.
where
She's relentless.
it's like, hang on, she just picks up that it's getting a bit tired in the middle there, and it could be her forwards too.
Yeah.
She's sniffing around there. You just see her ready to pounce.
And Taron Aiken too.
Oh, yeah.
yeah,
She's a gun.
Who debuted for New South Wales on the wing or was on the I can't
Fullback.
remember her name. Fullback.
Fullback was it, David?
Yeah, I'm interested to see how she goes again. That was
I think a little bit more confidence. And I think Billy Slater even brought it up, or it would have been, was it Billy or Darren Lockyer that was commentating on 9 for that? Or you were
Can't wait.
working?
I thought you listened to me.
Yeah, sorry, I was.
I
I did.
Graceful.
I had
Who's
your
this?
cross.
Thanks, big guy.
It was in the highlights.
Come on, mate.
But he just spoke about, because she didn't go up for one of the high balls,
She
the
held
first
one.
one,
Yeah, first one.
where Queensland ended up scoring off it. And he goes, those are ones that you need to get yourself in the air, and that's
The further the game went on, the more she got.
came into her own.
It's hard when you. I know when I played Origin my first couple of times, you sort of get a bit overawed because you're like, I'm looking, man, I got Paul Gallen,
Yeah.
like Greg Burge, Robbie Farrell. Like you got blokes here that you're like, wow, I've watched from a young age, but then, well, hang on, I'm here for a reason. I've got to do what I do best week in, week out.
Mm-hmm.
So once you get that confidence of doing that, that's when you see them become great players.
Yeah.
looking forward to it.
All right. Well, let's wrap up last weekend's round, because Ash, you normally have a high and a low. Where are you sitting for your high?
Oh, I can't go past Latrell Mitchell.
Oh yeah, baby, how good's that? Chill, baby.
When Tatey was talking about GI coming into Origin camp and how when you knew he was on, that's Trell. Like
It is.
in any
it
game,
is.
in any week.
You know when you're like, we need a big game player, we need a hero, bang, every time. And that field goal, Iceman.
Yeah.
You know, we talk about players getting paid to ice games and those that don't,
Yeah.
mainly. But he just, Latrell doing Latrell things. And I thought, I can't go past that moment where it gave me goosebumps.
Yeah.
Watching it back, I'm like, holy
Do you know how
shit.
hard it is to hit a field goal in wet conditions like that?
It's hard to hit a field goal anyway.
Yeah. I was like, I
Hit
don't
it
think I
from
could
48 and a half
genuinely.
meters out.
Unbelievable.
That's
And he
huge,
had more
bro.
gas on it too, I think. Like, it was, it was just a clinic of how, the comeback to start with, that tackle, the try-saving
I was
tackle.
about to say, the biggest player of the night for me was, I know he had a one-on-one with Payne Haas. It's the one on Dean Mariner. Dean Mariner is one of the fastest blokes in the competition, and it's the positioning of where Latrell Mitchell is. And for him to not just tackle him, but to drag him out at the same time.
It had Scott Sattler written all over it. And I was just watching it going, and then he gets up and he walked away like, just another day in the office.
You know when you watch Latrell, right, how, he's a big body, right?
Yeah.
He's so strong.
Oh.
Like, he just manhandles people.
Yeah.
Like seriously, like it's like that big kid in the under 12s that when he makes a tackle, blokes just get sat on their backside, or when he's carrying the ball, he finds his front, and he just never look. You never. I think I've seen him once get put on like a good shot. Moses Leota in a semi-final. Other than that, he ran over Hargraves sometimes. Like it is like Latrell's just got that strength that's unbelievable.
Here we go. 100 Latrells versus 1 gorilla.
Oh, Latrell's easy.
It's really easy.
I would love to see him
Easy.
manhandle a gorilla.
Do you find like sometimes when you're watching him this year, I find him really unfazed when he does something really good? Like you spoke about the
Yeah.
try. Everyone was jumping all over him and he was just walking deadpan face,
Deadpan.
straight back to his place, ready for kick off again.
I think-
where last year we saw a lot like of
I reckon that's the
fanfare.
difference with having Wayne Bennett there.
Yeah, okay.
Wayne's challenged him, probably because there's all that hype about Latrell comes in and out of games. You know, he's probably made him that I want you to be more consistent in those areas. And, you know, you'd know before when Latrell would do things, he'd get really excited. Now it's like next job mentality, he's thinking about the team now.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's great to see if you're a South Sydney supporter, because there's all that talk, Jai Gray, should he still be fullback? I think he shut everyone up after that performance.
Yeah, it looks like he's put the emotion aside and gone, okay, well, I can still make these great plays and then think about the team and
Yep.
not think about me and how I'm feeling about it. And he would have gone home, he would have gone back to the sheds, gone back to his loved ones, and probably shown the emotion then and how he felt. Which, yeah, I can't get past that bit. The probably one of the performances of the year from any.
I think
player.
you've seen him in the dressing sheds after the game because he walked straight in and you just see him get around his teammates. That's great. That's what you want to see. You know, who cares about the cameras? He went and got in. First people want to celebrate was his teammates.
Well, he's not
Awesome.
doing any media at the moment either, which I think has been good for him.
Yeah.
Lets him concentrate on his footy. What about your low?
I'm not going to call it a low. Great week of footy. Comebacks, too many, yes. But I would say we could all talk about Manly, but I won't. Let's talk about ball tampering.
Yeah, a little bit of Brady, Tom
Oh.
Brady.
Gamesmanship.
Ballgate.
I thought I was watching the Australian Test cricket team for a second there. I saw the video pop up. I think it was the day after, and it was a bit of a blurry video as it is. And I was like, "What's going on here?" You just see him squirt and a drip off the ball, and I thought,
The
"Cheeky
trainer was
bugger."
pouring.
Shane
And as a
Elford.
trainer in training
Yeah.
at the moment,
True, you like doing
I
that.
was like, "Write that down.
Yeah.
Definitely doing that."
Did you like it or not?
Oh, I don't mind it.
Isn't this the low?
Look, it's not a low. It's kind of funny.
Yeah,
But
okay.
it's like it would happen all the time that we don't see in this day and age now that people are picking it up on their own phones and
Well,
stuff like
apparently
that.
Penrith has been doing it in the
They've
past.
been doing it. Let's go back to all 4 premierships, eh?
Yeah.
We're going to strip
him.
him.
What I love as well is the trainer that did it, Shane Elford.
Yeah.
He won a competition with the Cowboys coach, Toddy Payton. Do you know that the Cowboys did it as well?
They did it too,
Yes,
yeah.
yeah.
So
But,
it-
mate, who cares?
it's like, for me, it's like I said, it's not a low. It's sort of like a what's going on here. And I think now we could probably look, if the Cowboys are doing it to, who else is doing it? Who else is
I'd
ball
do it if I
tampering?
was playing.
Yeah.
Other than Woodsy at home, who else is ball tampering?
I don't get
gone
the-
red, no?
I don't get the time to ball tamper at home, mate. Wish
How
I
much
did.
of a difference does it honestly make? It was already raining. Like it was
yeah.
pouring and they've wet the
Did
ball.
they catch
like,
the next ball?
Yep.
Yeah, I think so.
The ref changed the
but
ball. one
does it
point.
honestly do anything to
Oh,
it?
mate.
I
Who
don't
knows?
think so, unless she's out there deflating it or whatever. And,
Yeah.
you know what are we going to see next? Someone rubbing the
I
shoulder.
reckon the
side of
hard ones to
Steeden.
catch is if it's a torpedo.
Yeah, okay.
Yeah,
But
but the
that's
water
just
would
a
have
torpedo.
well and truly fizzed off that.
It would have
That's-
dried in the air.
Shine the right side of the Steeden and kick off.
The only thing I didn't like, because Billy Slater was commentating at the time, obviously the Queensland coach, and he's like, I like it. Like, we love seeing that sort of stuff.
Yeah, it's like,
Game
you
and shit.
bastard.
And
Don't you
I'm
remember
like,
James
what's he
Graham?
going to do at Origin?
Remember
with
James
the
Graham had the
Vaseline.
Vaseline on the hamstrings?
Marco Mealy was the same.
Yeah, Denker up on the head.
Yeah, I think. Look, it's the low of it. The low about it is that all the oldies are having a crack about it. But
Yeah.
I think with these guys are paid millions of dollars to catch the ball. It was raining. It's wet. There's all these sort of conditions. It's not going to make a big deal.
Best
Like,
part about
get on with it.
James Graham with the Vaso was when Nate Miles got it and just smashed it in his eye.
Oh, that's right. I
Cop
forgot
that.
about that. He
Good work,
slid
Milesy.
his hand down
Oh,
the
I didn't see
hamstring
that.
and wiped
Straight in
his
the big
face.
ginge,
Yeah.
cop that.
It was so good. That was so good.
Yeah, like I said, it's not going to make a huge deal. And we're making it like the media's making a big deal.
Well,
out
us
of it.
cricketers, they've missed 12 months for it.
Yeah, but it was sandpaper. That's what I'm saying. Like,
I'm joking.
This is the complete opposite
Just
of
joking.
sandpaper.
Only joking.
Yeah, it's the opposite. Yeah, unless I see someone rubbing Vaso on it on a kickoff, but that'd hinder everyone, I guess.
Yeah, true. Well, we've got a week of football coming up, which will hopefully get us back in the green with all our bad tips.
Oh my
last
God,
week.
I got one.
Yeah, it was disgusting.
Awful.
I was looking at a duck egg.
But let's kick off. As we mentioned, there's no game on Thursday night. Friday night, Knights or Eels, boys.
Eels.
Yeah, Eels.
Yeah.
It's a huge game for Mitchell Moses. He still hasn't 100% cemented that spot. That's obviously up between him and Luai.
In Moses, we trust.
I know. But I'm just saying he needs a big game this week, and I think this is going to be it.
We'll pivot back to Bulldogs and Roosters because, Ash, that's going to be your Woodsy back at later on. So we now kick into Saturday. First game up, Dolphins Warriors.
It's a Redcliffe.
Yeah.
Warriors.
Go to Warriors and go Lukey Metcalf.
Oh,
How
hasn't
good
he
has he
been
been?
awesome? On fire.
Good mate
Was
of
he a
mine.
Manly Junior at some point?
No, he's from the Coffs Harbour. He
Do you
played
just try and claim
Yeah.
everyone that was good and gone somewhere
It's a Manly thing. That's what we do. We just claim everyone and we let
Coffs
them go.
Harbour, come down to Sharks, went to Manly, went back to Sharks.
See?
Yeah, I did.
No
Then went
question.
Warriors. Great young fella. And he
Yeah.
just had a little girl.
Oh, congratulations.
Yeah, congratulations,
Girl
Lukey
dad.
Metcalf.
Every time a player's just had a birth, or I mean, they haven't obviously birthed a child, but they tend to have a massive game. As soon as the-
He's had a massive.
had
After
a
round
massive
one, he copped a
season.
lot of flack. He's come good.
He is a great player.
I like it.
Can't go past it.
We then go to Cowboys and Manly up north. What are we thinking? Especially with the insight you just got off Tatey.
I'm going Manly.
Manly upset.
Fight back.
I think if Cherry in Queensland, maybe it'll. I don't know.
A little bit nervous.
I don't even know anymore.
A little bit nervous. Purdue into the 5-8. Maybe if Tatey did he confirm it? Did he or
No,
just?
he alluded. Well, I mean, he basically gave
He's
it.
a good young player, that Purdue.
So who's at 6 now? Who misses out then?
Well,
Well, Dearden will
you've
go
got-
to 7.
Dearden at 7.
Jake Clifford. Is he injured?
I don't think so.
Oh, he's not playing bad.
I'm
Maybe
not too
he's just
sure.
throwing it that way.
Yeah, wow.
Maybe he's trying to throw me off.
Well, we don't know. As we mention all the time, our show is currently filmed before the
Yep.
team
We'll
list.
find
so
out.
We'll find out.
Yeah.
today. We'll find out
We'll
today.
only find out a little bit later
Manly.
on.
I'm going Manly upset.
And then we obviously finish off Saturday, the Super Saturday with Sharks versus Storm.
Yep.
We'll pivot back to that one because that's Woodsy's Would You Get It On. Sunday, Broncos Dragons in Queensland.
Broncos have got to bounce back.
I actually
Jeez.
reckon Dragons. For that
Dragons
one.
do have a good record. Well, not as of late, but if I'm going to go with the Broncos, but if they lose here, God help them, man.
Put a line through 'em?
I think Madge, he's going to cop it in the media.
Yeah.
Rightly so.
Your mate Shane Flanagan said you had way too much spice to the story last week.
You know, I actually held back.
Did you?
I would love to have said some of the words that Shane did say. Don't listen to
You're
him,
doubling
mate.
down, and he's telling
Let
me
me guess.
that was
Let me
already
guess.
sold.
Did you ask him to come on the show?
I did.
And then he would have said, "How much are you going to put me on?"
I'm not answering.
Thank you very much. You don't need- that's just said. Flano, get that up here.
All right, Raiders versus the Titans.
Raiders.
I think that's a definite Raiders, surely.
Jeez, I love watching Raiders at the moment.
I know. They're like,
They're just
they're
gritty.
so-
they
yeah.
play
I
the
love
kind of football I love
I
watching.
love their back five. They're just powerful. They're all powerhouses.
Yeah, it was just a shame they had to come up against the Dogs. Who
No.
seemed like
Is that
they-
our grand final?
No.
Nah.
So, sorry, well, how stupid of me. Storm. Meh.
Yeah.
So just retract.
What's that last game?
All right, we finish off with West Tigers versus South.
South.
And Tigers bounce back.
Jeez, it's they were diabolical last week. That was there was
Dreadful.
times where Melbourne were just offloading at will and having fun.
Yeah.
Look, if Latrell shows up and wants to do what he got to do, Souths win easy. If he doesn't, West Tigers win easy.
Yeah. Okay. So you're sitting on the fence.
So I'm going to go with West Tigers.
I'm going with South. I think they'll back that up. I think the 64-0 is going to need a little bit more time.
Yeah, I think they're still licking wounds. All right, well, we're going to head into Would You Back It, but I do need to cast your mind back to last week, Woodsy. You actually made a bet with Ash.
Did I?
That
How'd I
if your bet didn't come off,
You shook my hand too.
you had to hit the smelling salts.
Oh,
So
yeah.
my
Get
friend,
the handshakes, and then you've got to do your Would You Back It.
And
with-
did Ash get his bet right?
No, but
well, this was the one we
yeah,
we
this
shook
is the one
hands
you shook
your
on this
bet,
one.
'cause
So
you
you're
were
the
so
sin bin this
confident.
week.
Yeah, I thought. Well, I didn't remember what my bet was.
Yeah.
Who was it?
Do we want to
It
get
lost.
it? Do you want to? No, we'll do this and then we'll get your bet. Actually, it'd be funnier.
Yeah, that's what I mean. I was like, this you're gonna
Oh,
take the little
God.
cap out.
I'm having
Jeez.
flashbacks.
And don't take a little skirty switch.
Yeah,
for this
do an
either.
Ash sniff.
You got to do a Ash.
No,
sniff.
well, you wouldn't let
No,
me
you,
hold
yeah,
it.
you got to
No,
let.
no,
he's got to
I heard
hold.
it first.
It is pungent.
It's like you've just jumped in like the deep end of the pool and just got all the woof up there.
You took that well.
Water.
Oh, the eyes are starting to water, bros. They're different ones that we have pre-games, man. What is that?
Yeah, look, I added some spice to that one. Well, I didn't. Jack did. He's sweating. I love it.
15% ammonia and ammonia gas. Nutmeg oil, purified water, organic eucalyptus. So it's good for you.
Jeez, that gets a good.
It's actually good for you. Do not add water.
Oh, geez, if you had water that far out.
Do not use if you're allergic to it.
All right, let's go. I'm ready to go for my
let's move
storm
on.
multi. Let's
Okay,
go.
yeah.
All right. Jesus.
Well, you do want to run through walls after you snip it,
Okay,
apparently.
yeah.
So, all
go.
right, we're gonna go. We'll go Woodsy first while we've got him.
Yep.
Sharks versus Storm, Woodsy.
Yes. I actually didn't realise this was at Shark Park.
Yeah. Oh.
So I'm changing my bet around a little bit.
Okay.
Look, the stats, mate, unbelievable here. Ronaldo Mulatalo scored a try in 6 of his last 10 matches at this venue. So he's going to be one of my anytime try scorers.
Okay.
Ryan Pappenhausen is on fire. 4 tries versus the West Tigers. He scored 8 of his 9 matches this season, 12 in total.
He's on
So I'm going to go
fire.
Pappy anytime try scorer. And I'm going to go Sharks head-to-head.
Wow.
Okay.
I like Sharks against the Storm at home. And I'm just tossing, do I chuck in Xavier Coates for a try scorer as well? Yes, I am. I'm going to go with 4 this week. I'm going to go with 4.
He's fired
I'm
up, this
still
guy.
in shock. You've gone Sharks over Storm. Wild.
The problem is the Sharks are getting better every week.
yeah.
And the Sharks at home with Melbourne Storm, it's a huge rivalry. Remember the game Cameron Smith got 10 in the bin?
Okay.
Yeah.
Brendan Smith called the ref a cheat one time. Mate, I'm telling you, they're a different beast, the Shark
So
Park.
Sharks head to head, Paps anytime, and then what else?
Mulatalo anytime.
Mulatalo. Yeah.
And Xavier Coates.
And Xavier.
Mm,
Yeah. Okay.
very good.
All right. Let's head to you, Ash. We'll pivot backwards to Bulldogs versus Roosters. You actually got through that okay without this. I don't think you took a big enough whiff.
We went up one nostril, man. Like right up the nostril.
Yeah,
We need it up the other one now.
Like my
Hey,
face
hey,
was
hey,
on fire.
How about Garts does a multi and let's see what she can do next week.
Yeah.
Yeah. We'll get through your one first.
Everyone. Okay. Look, Bulldogs Roosters. I'm excited about this. I mean, the Bulldogs are flying, but I want to see how they go up against the Roosters. And I'm gonna go with, thanks to Statmate, I'm gonna go with Marky Mark.
Oh, Nawanga Nitawasi.
that was well
just
pronounced.
rolls
Well
off the
said.
tongue.
When you're a commentator, you
You
gotta
have
pronounce
to.
the name properly. Out of respect to those
Are
players.
you commentating that game?
No, thank God. I've got one in me.
I got one in you, that's it. Yeah, so he scored 3 tries in his past 2 matches. I want to see him cross the line again, which I think he will. And I'm going to go Teddy anytime try scorer. He didn't score against the Bulldogs at all last year, according to Statmate.
Wow.
But prior to that, he did score 6 tries in 3 matches.
He's on
So
fire.
Okay.
I'm going to go with the Roosters head-to-head, and I'm going to go Marky Mark anytime, and I'm going to go Teddy anytime.
Yes, mate.
I like it.
Yeah, bit of a simple one for me. I feel like I didn't get a single one over the weekend, so played safe this week.
Oh,
I
yeah.
like it. Woodsy, you get the chance to put your money where your mouth is with your Origin team that you've
Yep.
selected. Points better basically putting them on. If one they're selected is probably going to be
So
a big
for the
thing.
1 to 17 that I've picked,
Yes, they then if they score a try,
Yeah.
because there's going to be some odds on.
really?
Yes.
Well, you know, I got a little bit of inside information already.
Oh,
So, I'm not saying that he's in the team, but if Josh King is in
yes,
and he scores a try,
yes.
100 to 1.
Oofed. You got to get around that.
Putting a rent on it this week.
Come on,
But
King.
yeah.
He scored last week for Melbourne Storm.
Yeah,
He's a try scoring machine at the moment.
but he's got to get selected first.
I know, come on, man.
Yeah.
64 0.
Yeah.
Gamble responsibly too.
Yes, exactly.
Yes.
Well, huge week. Thank you so much.
No, well, excuse
Wait.
me. We haven't finished yet.
Oh, we haven't finished. We've got unfinished business.
Yeah, where's your multi?
Yeah, where's your money? You know
Sorry,
what?
you guys get fed stat, mate. I haven't. I'm going in blind.
have we got one yet?
No, but You've
I
got
reckon
all the
you do-
stats.
Okay.
I reckon you give us a multi on the Cowboys Manly game.
Okay, that's a fair shout. We'll give you a second. Let the timer get that timer up.
Yeah. Where's
This is
Woodsy?
not fair. This is not fair.
Come on, mate. What do you got for us? Come on.
All right. I am going to go Manly head to head.
Oh, here we go. There he is. There's the big man. You've got 30 seconds.
Manly head to head.
Oh, I reckon Olaquatu's due for a
Yep.
try. You're killing me. This is not fair. I need stats. You guys get like who
One more.
who
One more.
favours
Just pick
Cowboys.
one more. Pick one more.
Let's go someone from the Cowboys. Let's say the debutant if he plays. Who was the one we were just talking
No,
about?
he's already played Purdue at 5'8".
Oh, so Purdue at 5'8". I reckon he goes over.
He goes
I don't
over.
mind that multi.
Oh, I'm shaking on it.
Yeah.
Jeez, I hope he doesn't score.
What's my punishment?
Big
Oh,
sniff.
You know, we're just going to go round and round the room all year with it. But you're not taking them home this time because you'll forget them. Forget
They're always
them.
in my bag.
Yeah, we're taking them with us.
All right. So what have I got? I've got Manly anytime. I've got Olaquatu and
Purdue.
Purdue.
That's not bad. I think that's doable. And for your sake, I hope it's doable.
I'm nervous because when was the last time Olaquatu scored?
Last week before
Penrith.
last.
Week before
Penrith.
last.
Week
Okay,
before the
cool.
bye.
All right. Well, thanks very much for
Thank you.
making me inclusive
worries,
on
mate.
the multi. That wasn't. I can't believe I got counted down.
One team, one dream.
Yeah, exactly.
It's harder than when you see Woodsy up there poking away, isn't it?
He's off. He's very off-putting.
I like the wording of that one.
Good sort.
He is a good sort. What happened to him?
It's got you, mate.
All right, enjoy
too
your
good.
weekend, lads. All the best for all of our multis.
Thank
Don't forget, remember, always gamble responsibly and join us next time on Oz American Aces NRL.
You win some, you lose more. For free and confidential support, call the number on the screen or visit the website.